This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. Sequels are hard, especially sequels to successful movies, because for every Empire Strikes Back, there are 10 Exorcist II: The Heretic, which I actually like, by the way. It's weird as fuck, but I actually like that movie a lot. Acknowledging that is really important, because when you look at Mike Flanagan's Dr. Sleep, it's a different movie. It's not the same. And that may sound self-evident, but it's really not. A lot of times sequels rehash the original movie. I mean, look at any of the Alien movies. They're essentially Alien. They change the names of the people, they change the setting. The movie, at heart, is the same. Dr. Sleep is its own animal, yet it manages to be entirely connected to The Shining. Now, keep in mind something. It's worth mentioning that Stephen King cannot stand Stanley Kubrick's movie. And as the person who wrote it, I think I understand that. Kubrick's Shining, when you think about it, isn't really a horror movie. I take that back. It is a horror movie. But the thing is, it's open to interpretation, in the sense that Jack Torrance in Kubrick's movie could literally be going insane. Nothing else. Well, there are actually aspects of the movie which point to the fact that it's not happening in his head. But that's not the dominant narrative. You can easily say that movie is the story of a man just losing his marbles over a period of time. And that's valid, actually. And I think Kubrick's Shining is a good movie. But it's not overtly supernatural. You can't with Dr. Sleep. Dr. Sleep is profoundly based in the supernatural, the extraordinary. This is, to my ranking, among the best sequels ever made. This is Empire-level sequels. This is Godfather 2 level sequels. This is Aliens level sequel. Because it manages to be an entirely different movie, while at the same time keeping all that you liked or loved about Kubrick's original. And it's such a different movie than The Shining. It's a warmer movie. It's less managed to an inch of its life. If you've read anything about Stanley Kubrick, it's that he was very controlling, in the sense that he wanted certain things a particular way, and if it at all veered from the way he wanted it, he would reshoot it again and again and again and again and again and again. 10 or 20 reshoots of a scene is not unusual for Stanley Kubrick, because he was a perfectionist. And it's reflected in The Shining, which is a very methodical, a very planned, a very cold movie. While Dr. Sleep is the opposite. It's not as methodical. It's not as well planned, as in every little step laid out ahead of time. It doesn't feel like that. It feels more lived in. It feels more organic. And it's, in some ways, the polar opposite of The Shining. It's more vital. It's more alive. It's more just engaging than Kubrick's original. If I were to have any criticism of Mike Flanagan's movie, it would probably be that there are certain instances where it veers too closely to superheroics, because with a few little tweaks, this could be an X-Men movie. I kid you not. There are certain aspects of it, well, I shouldn't say that, it's not really fair. There's one aspect in particular, you'll know it when you see it, that comes off too superhero-y, and it kind of pulled me out of the movie slightly. The thing is, it didn't really need to be there, because if you watch the scene I'm referring to, and once again, you'll know it. When you watch the scene I'm referring to, it's handled in such a way that it wasn't really necessary to do, and it could have been done in a fashion that stuck better to the material. But that's just a nitpick. When all is said and done, Doctor Sleep ranks among one of the best sequels made, period. And an interesting point I think I should mention. Doctor Sleep didn't do that great at the box office. I believe it earned somewhere in the ballpark of $71 million on a $45 million budget. That's not a great return. It's not a failure. Well, it's underwhelming. I would call it that. It's an underwhelming return. But conversely, so was The Shining. The Shining also did not do that great. It was underwhelming as well. So, trust me on this. Doctor Sleep is going to be a cult classic. This is a great movie. And I keep repeating this, but I can't help it. It's one of the best sequels made, period. And it shows the power that Mike Flanagan has as a director. Clearly, one of the best genre directors working today. I put him close to, not quite there, but very close to a Guillermo del Toro. He is that good. He is that perceptive. And one of the best things about his directing for me is that I wouldn't call it minimalist, but, and this is also the edit, which he edits as well. So he directs his films and he edits them. There is a quality of efficiency, for lack of a better word. There's not a lot of extraneous stuff in Doctor Sleep. It lays out its case and it flows. It makes sense. It's logical. It looks beautiful. It's almost the opposite of The Shining. It's heat, it's fire, it's passionate, while The Shining is more reserved, more focused on minute detail, more colder. Though, when all is said and done, Doctor Sleep is great and destined to be a cult classic. This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. Peace.